Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Boost! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Easter 2026, the album, Dad. Shimmy, shimmy. Okay, the reason why I am laughing so hard today and I cannot keep it straight is because I was like, should I just get right into this video and not do the intro? You know, I was like, should I just not sing a song or anything today? And then I was like, what song should I sing? And so I did a little remix of this song that I learned when I was a kid. So I was sometimes before I start the videos, I sit here and I'm like, I sing this song like as I'm like, you know, setting up the camera, and I have my lip glosses and everything, and got my glasses here, got my phone with the receipts, Whitney, all tuned up. And as I'm doing all that, I'm kind of like singing the song, and I got laughing so hard singing this song, this remix of the world. I was laughing so hard singing this song. I don't know why. So anyway, I wasn't going to do the intro. I was going to be real serious about this today. We're going to be real serious about this today, okay? Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. We're going to be real serious about this. So, but I was like, I want to sing the song that I came up specifically for this video. And so I was like, well, I'll do the intro. Because it would just be weird if I didn't do the intro and then I just sang the song, don't you think? So anyway, here's the song. Are you ready? Christy loves me, this I know. For the good book tells me so. Yes, Christy loves me. Yes, Christy loves me. Yes, Christy loves me. The good book tells me so. You know, I think that if this YouTube thing doesn't work out for me after 9 years, after 9 years, you think I might have taken the clue by now that maybe it's not working. If this YouTube thing doesn't work out for me, I think I might start one of those traveling Christian gospel singing groups. The Peter Monn singers. Yes, Christy loves me. Yes, Christy loves me. Yes, Christy loves me because Jacqueline Hill told me so. Peace. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so let me just tell you what is so weird about how my life works. Okay, so a couple days ago, I did this unpopular opinions video on, I like put up this thing, not an unpopular, I said, what do you guys want me to talk about on my channel? And so I put it up on Instagram, got a bunch of responses. I talked about that in a video. I think that was my video Tuesday, Tuesday. So I did that. I feel like this is kind of getting kind of gloopy. We better put it under a microscope. We better put this, what is this? Ruby. We better put Ruby under a microscope and see if she's blotchy. Anyway, so I did this video where I just asked you guys what you wanted me to talk about, right? And I said on there, I like went into that video and I kind of talked a little bit about Christie in there and whatever. And I even said in that video, well, okay, so one of the things that people wanted me to talk about, I got a lot of requests for me to talk about Amberlynn Reid, okay? A lot of people wanted me to do like an updated video on Amberlynn Reid because I hadn't done one in a while. So yesterday I did an Amberlynn Reid video, a 55-minute Amberlynn Reid video yesterday, okay? By the views, now the requests, I got a lot, I think I got more requests than I did views on the video, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, people were like, Peter, I don't want you to turn into an Amberlynn Reid content channel. Okay, we don't need to worry about that. Okay, we don't need to worry about that. Like I said yesterday in my video, okay, on my last breath on this earth, when I look back on my life, I do not want to think that I spent a majority of my time consumed with Amberlynn Reid. So that there's no threat of this channel turning into an Amberlynn Reid commentary channel. I can't keep up with what she's doing anyway, okay? It's just too much to keep up with. But in my video like 2 days ago, I talked about Robbie Christie and I talked about Toddy Westbrook in there. And I said that I hadn't made videos on them in quite some time. Well, Robbie Christie, I really haven't. It's been like, every time I make a Christie video, literally every time, I can tell you on this video, somebody will say, oh my God, you've made so many. I have not made a Robbie Christie video. I don't even know the last time. I mean, I could probably go in here and look and see. I don't even know the last time that I made a Robbie Christie video, but it's been a while. Hold on a second. Let me see. Go in here. content, go into my content, and let's just see. I mean, maybe a month ago? Could it have been a month ago? I have no idea. Raw Beauty. Let's just pull that up and see what comes up. Okay, Raw Beauty Christie, 2 months ago. The Raw Beauty Christie scandal revisited. That was the last video that I made, was 2 months ago. And before that, it was 3 months ago. Raw Beauty Christie drama update. Before that, it was 4 months ago. Then 5 months ago. So, about a video a month up until 2 months ago, and then I stopped making videos about her. So, I haven't made a Raw Beauty Christie video in quite a while, and in that video the other day where I was talking about it, I went in and I looked at her videos, and I talked about how, like, some of her most recent videos, here I actually should probably have it pulled up here because I was just looking at it the other day, Raw Beauty Christie. So Raw Beauty Christie is sitting currently at 1.07 million subscribers. Her most recent video is from 7 days ago. Get ready with me, testing new makeup. 31,000 views, which I said in that video I was kind of surprised because I thought she said she didn't want to do makeup content anymore. But I think that's smart of her because I think that the people that like Christie, well, I would say many of the people that like Christie found her through her makeup content, and so they enjoy that. Then 12 days ago, 30,000 views. Am I still going to church? And then she's painting a mug and answering questions. 2 weeks ago, glamming my niece and answering your questions, 17,000 views. How I helped my anxiety and finally got relief, 22,000 views. We need to chat a bit and relax a little bit, 22,000 views. Now, you might not think that 22 to 40,000 views sounds like that. I don't personally think that that's that few views. I think it's, you know, okay. But when you look at that, oh, what is this? A True Beginner's Guide to Eyeshadows. That was 2 months ago, 129,000 views. I think that's a good video. I think people come and they really liked the makeup videos that she was doing. But when you go and you look, I mean, she's a creator that has over 1 million subscribers, okay? And when you look at her most popular videos, her pregnancy video was at 10 million views. People loved that video when Christy came out and announced that she was pregnant. Her number 2 most popular video, which she has talked about and kind of like said she didn't say certain things, she didn't say other things. Well, if what you said in that video doesn't stand true today, I don't know why you wouldn't take down that video. But the second video that she put up was the Jaclyn Hill video. The Truth About Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics Lipsticks. It was from 6 years ago, and it's sitting at 5 million views. I mean, she was getting 4 million views, 2 million views, 1.9 million views, 1.8 million views. I mean, she was getting 800,000 views, 800,000 views, 700,000 views. I mean, she was getting the views back in the day. And all of it is pretty much around makeup content and talking about influencers. That's what her channel was about back then. But a lot of it was mostly about, it was all her best viewed videos were makeup content. I remember a video that Christy did a couple years ago where she said that she really wanted to switch up her content, but she knew that if she switched up her content, that she would lose a lot of her subscriber base. I think this is actually before any of the scandals with Raw Beauty Christie came out. I mean, Christy, for a very long time, was rather unscandalous herself. And so I remember her saying that because I remember commenting on a video and saying that's really, really true. Like, that's a fear. It's one of the reasons why I've always started new channels. Like, people will say, why don't you put everything on one channel? Well, I think it's confusing. If I'm doing a reaction to a true crime documentary over here, and then I'm doing a reaction to, or a drama video about Jeffree Star, and then I'm doing, you know, like, I don't know, like a review of ice cream sandwiches like I did on my review channel yesterday, I think it's confusing to people. And not everybody likes those same videos. So I put the reviews one place, I put the vlogs in another place, I put the TV in another place. Even though I talk about a lot of those things on my channels because there's a lot of overlap and I'm fully aware of that. That's why I separate it. And I'm not saying that that's the right way to do it. I'm just saying that that's what works for me. So when she talked about it several years ago, I totally knew what she was talking about because I think that is a fear of a lot of influencers, is that if you like are on TikTok and you get famous for doing funny TikToks, and that's what people love about you, and then all of a sudden you change that and you want to start doing really philosophical TikToks about life lessons, people are going to be like, well, I didn't sign up for this, I'm out. So the fact that Christy, the majority of her foundation of her audience was built over makeup videos, and then at some point, it was around the time that she became a mother and her interest in makeup wasn't as great, and she talked a lot about that online, I think people were kind of like, well, I came for the makeup. And at that point, and in all honesty, I wasn't really sure that a lot of people bowed out necessarily from watching Christy because they took an issue with Christy, because this was before all the problematic stuff happened. I thought it was really because she had switched up her content. And I think that's a fear of anybody. I don't think that's just a fear specific to Kristi. I think that's a fear, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people about that through the years. That if I switch up my content, then people aren't going to watch anymore. I mean, if you have a channel that's specifically about cars, and all of a sudden, you're doing it about a garden that you're putting, there's, I mean, 80% of your audience is probably there because you're talking about cars. The people that really like your personality and really enjoy you as a human being and as a person, like hearing you talk, they'll stick around. But the reality is, not everybody that watches your channel loves your personality. I would say probably, I would venture to guess, maybe only 10 to 15% of the people that really watch your channel, you know, it's because of your personality. Unless you have a channel that's like all about like just, you know, like my vlog channel is about me. Like I just tell stories of my life, talk about what's going on, you know, with the dogs, talk about like memories of mine, things I've learned, what I did the last 24 hours. I don't necessarily know that that's like a personality driven channel, but I think that the people that watch it like hearing me talk about just my life, right? So I think it's different because it's not specific to a certain topic, but you could take that with any topic, you know, like if tomorrow, like I actually wanted to start reviewing a lot of movies, okay? And I thought, if I start putting movies on my TV watching channel where I'm doing reality TV and true crime documentaries, I don't know that when I do movie reviews over there, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll start an 8th channel and call it Peter Watches Movies. And then I was like, no, we're not doing that right now. So anyway, I'll just include the movies over there. But like, that's the things you think about. So when she said that, I was like, okay, Kristi's at a point in her life where she's wanting to switch things up. She's not as interested in makeup anymore. But Kristi's also in a position where her bread and butter is off of YouTube and her videos on YouTube and her sponsorships and collaborations. And those have all come from her makeup content. So if she stops doing makeup content, it's like going into work tomorrow and your job is, I don't know, like answering a phone and stapling papers. And you go, I'm really not into answering the phone and stapling papers anymore. Your boss would probably say, that's great, you don't have a job anymore, okay? Like, and you'd be like, well, that's not fair because I still want to get paid what I was paying before. I just don't want to do what I was doing before. And I think that's for me where like, and this is not specific to Kristi, okay? It's like you can switch up your channel. And there's people that have done it and been very, very successful, but it takes long periods of time, you know? I think Christina Randall is an example of this. Christina Randall, who is somebody that I found through her prison content of like talking about being in prison, and she's changed her channel over to being a true crime channel. But it took a long time. It wasn't like 1 second she went over to true crime and her videos were doing astronomically well. It took some time. And there's been other channels that have done that as well. It just takes some time. So, you know, 2-3 years from now, Kristi might build a channel that people are really interested in it. I think part of the problem with Kristi's channel is, just looking at this outside, being completely fair, is that when I look through her videos, it's probably the same criticism I would give to this channel, okay, to my channel, is that when you look at it, it's like if I was making videos every day about Jeffree Star, people would come over here looking for videos about Jeffree Star. But I'm talking about one day about Jeffree Star, one day about Raw Beauty Kristi, one day about Amber Lynn, one day I'm doing a true crime, you know, coverage. And so people are like, we don't know what we're going to get every day. That's a mistake that I've made on this channel. I'm fully aware of that. With Kristi, it's very similar to that. It's like one day you might be getting a mug where she's painting a mug and doing a Q&A. The next day you might be getting a makeup review. And the next day you might be getting something else. Well, what you're really doing then is you're banking on the fact that the people are there because they love your personality. I don't know that I think we live in a society anymore where 10 years ago people were watching just because they love people's personalities. I think 10 to 15%, not just for Kristi, for me, for anybody else, is sticking around for the personality. The other 85 are there for the content. So if they're coming to Raw Beauty Kristi's channel for makeup, and she's not doing as much makeup videos anymore, then people aren't going to look for her for doing makeup reviews because she's only doing one every month. And, you know, it's interesting when you look at her channel, those are the videos that do very, very well. Because I would say the majority of people liked Kristi doing makeup content. But, you know, in the last two years, since I've talked a lot about Kristi and some of the scandals that have happened, whenever I do a video, I get a lot of comments, and I'll say in there, like, well, it's interesting to me, like, why people did unfollow her, or, you know, there's been a lot of things that people have said through the years of why they unfollowed her, or, you know, what their take is, but I'm a commentary reaction channel, gossip tea, drama channel, talking about a person, and so the comments on my video are probably either going to be people that are very upset with me because I'm talking about Kristi, or people that totally agree with me because I'm talking about Kristi. It's one way or the other, okay? Or people that just don't care about Kristi at all, that just are the 10% that are watching for me, right? So that's what you're going to get on my channel. You might get a different reaction if you watch somebody else's channel. You might get, you know, if somebody's covering Kristi every single day, you might get a very weighted, you know, view of why they unfollowed Kristi. So about once every 2 weeks, I go over to the Beauty Guru chatter on Reddit because they post back in the day I used to get a lot of stories over there, but to be honest with you, I don't really know a lot of the people that they talk about anymore because a lot of the makeup artists that they talk about, I just don't know who those people are. So I was rolling through it last night. I have it all pulled up right here. I was rolling through it last night and I saw this post come up, and the post came up, I'll put it up here somewhere, and it says 6 years later, the rewatch. Still just as gnarly. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the Raw Beauty Kristi microscope video where she pulled out the microscope of Jaclyn Hill's lipsticks. And so I started going through this. Let me read you the caption that it says underneath here. This person posted, I couldn't sleep the other night and ASMR wasn't hitting. So I fired up this masterpiece. It brought me back, like not only to this insane release by Jaclyn Hill, but to that era of both YouTube and my own relationship with makeup. Which I think is one thing that a lot of people will say, like that 2016, 2017 era of YouTube wasn't just about necessarily this beauty space on YouTube, but it was a lot about where people were at in their lives at that time. You know, a lot of people were like at the very end stages of college, starting new jobs, or, you know, like we're out. It was a period of time that I think people look back on that with nostalgia, you know? And Kristi was a huge part of that. Kristi was a huge part of that era. I mean, back in the day, and I know people that think that I come hard for her, they want to forget this, but I was rooting for Kristi. I would sit in videos and I would say, get her to 1 million subscribers. I mean, I told Shane Dawson that she needed to be in the documentary where he was interviewing a lot of people about the beauty community. I said, you need to interview, you know, Raw Beauty Kristi. I didn't understand why he wouldn't put her in that. She was a voice of reason. I think a lot of people listened to her because she was, you know, we had all of these beauty influencers that were, I mean, and she went on a few brand trips. One of my favorite memories ever of covering this, and I'm trying to be very objective and just fair going into this, was I remember Kristi, I used to joke with Kristi about this, that she was on this brand trip. I can't remember which brand trip it was, but there was some drama that happened there because two people got into a fight. And Kristi's in the background, and she's like doing this karaoke to I Will Survive. And she's like bucking to this. It's hilarious, the clip. I wish I had the clip. I don't think I do anymore. But it's one of my favorite moments ever that I covered through the years. Because it's just like in the moment, like Kristi does not care. Like she's just so happy to be on this brand trip and be included in this moment. But, you know, that was the era of where it was like all these beauty influencers that were going on brand trips, you know, flying private jets, you know, wearing Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada. And they were all kissing each other's asses. You know, in retrospect now, it's like we hear like James Charles talk about how he lied about the Morphe palette just so he could get his own palette. They were all lying about makeup for sponsorships, which we know now in retrospect. They were all lying about reviews and stuff like that. In all honesty, I mean, Jeffree Star, I think why people were really attracted to his Jeffree Star approved reviews was because he couldn't really be bought at that time, where everybody else was doing these $50,000 to $100,000, $200,000 sponsorships and was being bought. But Jeffree Star wasn't doing that. And I think that's one of the reasons why people were really attracted to the Jeffree Star approved reviews back then. Well, likewise, people were really attracted to Kristi because Kristi she couldn't get bought. And she was getting online and she was doing really authentic reactions and reviews for the regular person out there that was buying makeup. Like, she was being honest about it. And then that, for her, she became the voice of reason within the beauty industry, which I think is one of the reasons why there was a period of time where she seemed very jealous of those people. And you know, rightfully so, maybe. She was never really included in that group. And I'm sure, like, I've felt that way before. It hurts, you know? But at the same time, the reason why people respected Kristi was for the same reasons that they didn't respect those people. And so she became kind of this moral high ground within the makeup community. And then over time, you know, she would do her opinions about things, and it turned into her commentary on influencers. And I think that that's what people really liked, because she was in the industry and she was talking about what was inauthentic about the industry. So then when it comes back to Kristi has sided with some problematic things, or done some problematic things, or sided with some problematic people, she starts retracting her statements about Jaclyn Hill and saying, well, I didn't say this in the video. I mean, I did a whole video about that probably a year or two ago, where she said, I didn't blame it on Jaclyn Hill. Go watch the video. She 100% blames it on Jaclyn Hill. She says, if I was Jaclyn, I would have followed through. I wouldn't have let it leave the fact. She blames it on Jaclyn Hill. And she does a lot of this stuff, and she kind of retracts her statements. And so now it's like people are like, well, what I respected and admired about you is not what I'm seeing on video. And so that's always why I thought a lot of people kind of bowed out. And then when they would ask questions, she just was like, I'm not going to answer these questions. She was like blocking a lot of people, deleting a lot of people. She really would never respond to what people asked her to. And so I think it really was a real dent in her career. And I don't even, to be honest with you, in retrospect, at this point, it's like so, like all of it is so confusing to me. I don't really know like what is true and what's not true. Like I don't know what Kristi believes, what she doesn't believe. I don't really know, okay? But what I do know is I saw this come up last night on the Reddit thread. And so, and I will say this, like the fact that Kristi, well, I mean, maybe I think that Kristi is held to a different standard than, let's say, like a Manny MUA. Because I think that with Manny MUA, people already kind of knew that he was like a clout chaser. And it wasn't like people were holding Manny MUA, Laura Lee, and all those people to like this moral high ground. But I think they did with Kristi. You know, I looked at Kristi as somebody that was a voice of reason. I didn't look at Manny as somebody as a voice of reason. So yeah, I mean, it does feel disappointing, you know, in that sense. But but those were all my feelings about it, right? And so I was like, I saw this come up and I started reading through the comments, and it was a lot of comments of why not on my post, not on my video. I didn't have anything to do with generating this. This was somebody random put this up there, okay? And I thought, oh, I'm going to get in a video and I want to read what people are saying, because it's a lot of people saying why they stopped watching Kristi. And I thought this would be a really interesting video to do, because it's not me talking about why. I mean, I've already shared with you guys in this video, but in past videos, what it is for me. But this isn't about me. This is about what a lot of her fans are saying. I mean, the Beauty Guru Reddit chatter has 3.1 million followers in there. I mean, this post alone has 163 comments, and it's been up for 5 days. I mean, it gets a heavy traffic over there. So, and this is an old topic and has that many comments on it. So I was like, well, this will be interesting to read this, because this isn't coming from me, and I'm just going to read them down and let you guys know what other people are saying, because a lot of the things that people said on there, and I will say this, that there are some things that I'm going to skip over, but they're just out of deference to Kristi, okay? Out of fairness to Kristi, I'm going to skip over the comments. This is me being protective of Kristi, okay? But I would say that, because I think that some of the comments are uncalled for. That's all I'll say. But I think it's a good insight. And you guys can go over there. It's a Beauty Guru chatter on Reddit. And you can go down. It's from 5 days ago. It's called 6 Years Later Rewatch. Still just as gnarly. And if you want to keep up with, like, I mean, they over here, I mean, they're talking about shade ranges and makeup. They're talking about, I mean, all these different cosmetics brands, Huda Beauty products. I mean, they still keep up over here. So I thought it would be interesting to get in here and see what other people had to say, not what Peter Monn has to say about this. So this person commented, and they put the video up. I couldn't sleep the other night, and ASMR wasn't hitting, so I fired up this masterpiece. And this is a video where Robbie Christie brought out Jaclyn Hill's lipsticks and put them under a microscope. She just happened to have the microscope behind her. She pulled it out and did it. She also in the video says, because I rewatched it right now, she says that she was going to do a giveaway of the lipsticks, but she didn't feel right doing that. It brought me back, like, not only to this insane release by Jaclyn Hill, but to that era of both YouTube and my own relationship with makeup. I want more of that feeling, which I think it's interesting. I think, like, you know, I've been doing this now for, I think I'm coming up on 8 or 9 years. It'll be 9 years in September. And there is a nostalgia about that period of time that people were so I mean, I know that people are still excited about makeup. The economy is not great. People don't have the same money to spend. But I don't know that a lot of people still had $60 to throw away on a palette 9 years ago. But it was the excitement of, let's talk about this makeup. I just don't think people have it like they did. I don't think it's just the economy. I think it's the people's interest in all of this has kind of died a little bit, you know? But this person says, I want more of that feeling. Are there any videos you rewatch like that from like 3 to 7 years ago? Drop them here. Also, I highly recommend watching this one again if you have it in 6 entire years. It is still great. So, so when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, they're kind of boosting Kristi a little bit. Let's see what they say. Now, I thought it would be a lot of people dropping videos that make them feel nostalgic. It was all a discussion about Robbie Christie. The whole thread is all a conversation about Robbie Christie. Somebody said, all RBK. Somebody said, it's so, and then I'm just reading these straight down. It's so sad to see the person she's become. I used to love her. Somebody said, I used to rewatch her following the Jaclyn Hill tutorial, also the Huda one, but I haven't watched her since her mom era. Like, she just switched personalities, and while I know motherhood changes you, she just was too drastic. And then all these people are going in here about all of like the birth stuff and the mother stuff. And Kristi has been, it's one of the things I've tried to stay away from talking about on my videos unless I'm reading like comments like this, because it's one of the main things that Kristi has gotten a lot of backlash through since becoming a mother, is that a lot of her videos and a lot of her talking videos was a lot about being a mother, trauma experiences, postpartum and things like that. And I think that Kristi's been beat up enough about all that I don't need to go any further and do that. So I think like she's gotten a lot of criticism about all of that through the years. And so they go on here and a lot of them are saying that they related to Kristi. A lot of them were saying that, I thought this was interesting, that it triggered for them a lot of their experiences with postpartum, or it triggered for them a lot of their own experiences becoming mothers or becoming parents. And so for them to watch Kristi talk about it out loud, like in videos, like it was very triggering for them, which is why they stopped watching it. It wasn't just because at that time, I got the impression that a lot of people stopped watching her because they just didn't want to hear her talk about it. They wanted the makeup review. But the sense that you get from reading this is that it's a lot of people also that were triggered by that. When she was talking about it, it like triggered their own experiences having gone through that. I mean, it's talking about trauma, medical experiences. We're talking about her medical issues. A lot of people have issues with Kristi talking about her medical beliefs and things like that. Somebody said, I found her channel precisely with that video and thought she was a breath of fresh air compared to the Toddies of that era. Oh, well. This person said, Toddy blocked me on Twitter, LMAO. Somebody said, LOL, may I ask why? Why did she? Somebody, I mean, she unfollowed me, but she didn't block me. I don't even go to Twitter anymore. It was a long time ago when she decided to collab with Jeffree Star. I said he wasn't a good person or something like that. She should listen to her audience, and she blocked me. Oh, interesting. After that, I realized how toxic she was. Somebody said, time proved you right with both Jeffree Star and Toddy. No big loss there. Somebody said, this video is how I discovered her and she got me through the lockdown. Very unfortunate the path she took. Somebody said, seriously, such a shame. Somebody said, it's not sad. She's finding herself. I do believe that to some degree. I do think that Kristi is finding herself. I think that we could say that about a lot of people as well. Somebody said, I haven't watched her for years, but finally unsubscribed from her on YouTube a few days ago. I miss how she used to be. Somebody said, I unsubscribed not long after her pregnancy announcement. I knew the content would never be the same, and boy, was I right. Nothing against babies or people who have them. I could just tell it was going to be a major hit to her channel, and ended up being a major, okay, it goes on and on. Somebody said the baby wasn't the problem. It talks about her medical anxiety. It's talking about all that kind of stuff in here. A lot of people are talking about how that was triggering for them. People are talking about how they had kids at the same time that she did, and so that was real relatable to them, but then it got to be too much, and it was really triggering for them. Somebody said her 180, and I'm just reading these to give a fair representation of why Robbie D. Christie's own audience unfollowed her. Okay, I'm just trying to be completely fair to the topic. Her 180 still blows my mind. I never would have thought she would become the type of person she is today. Somebody said, really? She loudly and proudly doubled down on casual racism when she was called out on cultural appropriation, so it's not a leap that she went full. Somebody said, excuse me, what? She made a geisha makeup. People told her, I remember this coming out a couple years ago. It came out years and years ago, but it came back up a couple years ago. She was insensitive, and she responded saying the usual, people are too sensitive, and making fun of the commenters while wearing a sombrero instead of just apologizing. Somebody said, I interrupted that as 2010, too proud and immature, not actual. I am, okay. Something one could grow from, but boy, howdy, does it look like I was wrong? People are so disappointing. Somebody said, yeah, I read that and thought she had grown. I was wrong. Somebody said, she also wore a sombrero and said the same thing and gave her middle fingers to people who disagreed with her. Somebody said, what? Is this something recent, post-pregnancy? I watched her for, no, it was before that. I watched her for years and have zero memory of this, wondering how the heck I missed that. Way before I saw it here. It was before I watched her, blah, blah, blah. A lot of us found her after that and didn't learn of that until she went full crazy. I had no idea, and I am disgusted. This is going to stop in a second. Hold on. Okay, I'm trying really hard not to comment on these and just read them straight down. Somebody said, I am so ashamed. I'm sorry, guys. I had no idea. No need to be ashamed. She hides it pretty well. I think a lot of people still don't realize how far down the rabbit hole she's fallen because she knows it would alienate her audience if she let it slip. They're talking about her being conservative. She blocked me last year because I commented something about queer people, replying to another commenter who was asking about the controversy on one of her Instagram posts. I used to find her so hilarious, but I can never rewatch any of her stuff now. Somebody said, holy shit, that is so not the route I expected her to take. Wow, ugly. Somebody said, I know, right? She never gave me those vibes at any point before that. Somebody said, no, don't be ashamed. I used to love her, and I just found out about her issues like last year because she hides it pretty well. Somebody said after 6 years later, Jacqueline is still talking about her lipsticks too. Still no accountability though. Somebody said the fact that Jacqueline still frames the whole debacle as the internet was mean to me for no reason, and I am such a strong girl boss for surviving that trauma is absolutely bananas. Somebody said she was the victim in all caps. Somebody said, such a sad rewatch for me now as someone who actually really liked Robbie Christie vibe and the makeup looks. Shame that she has turned into a homeschool, MAGA lover, and trans hater. I can't look at her in the same light anymore. Somebody said, yes, as a black lesbian who bought all of her collabs, I feel gross looking at her. Somebody said, same, I miss Robbie Christie for a second, and then I remember that the person I like doesn't really exist anymore. Somebody said, it's tragic, I found her so cool and relatable. The neoliberal to crunchy turf mom pipeline is tragic and far too common these days. Somebody said she was never a neoliberal, LOL. Same, it's like a form of grief. I got really into her during the lockdown. Somebody said I wasn't even a makeup wearer but never missed her videos because I loved her personality. See? When you're pissing off the 10 to 15% that love your personality that will no longer stand by you anymore, that's when you really need to take a look at yourself, I think. What a disappointment she has become. Somebody said, oh God, I didn't know. I haven't kept up with her, but this would have fully tainted my rewatch had I been aware. Gross, sad. Oh my God, she did. So out of the makeup loop, when did this happen? How does the public know? Somebody said there wasn't one aha moment. It was more gradual shift, like she was slowly becoming a cult member. Somebody said, to be honest, she always gave me the vibes. Okay, I'm not going to read that one because it's not nice to Christy. Somebody said, I won't watch that woman. Somebody said they're asking about her friendship with another influencer. Somebody said, I actually teared up for a pregnancy announcement. Now she sucks, nothing but complaining, homeopathic pseudoscience, and homeschooling crap content. Some people are in here saying anything from like 2009, 2015 era beauty YouTube, like essentially up to Jeffree Star enter the space. Somebody said, I think Shane Dawson, they're talking about what videos are nostalgic for them. I think Shane Dawson inserting himself into the beauty space really solidified the shift. Somebody said, oh yeah, that too, but it kind of started with the Jeffree Kat Von D thing for me. Well, that was 2016, because that was my very first video, September 1st of 2016. Somebody said, rest in peace when she was normal and fun. Somebody said, I can't even look at the thumbnail without thinking about how pretty, oh, okay. They're talking about Pretty Pastel passing away. Somebody said, there was an ad for Jacqueline and Manny on the L'Oreal thing. No one cares about her. She was kissing Jaclyn Hill's ass when she made a video about influencers. I swear, this comment, when I read this last night, because I love this movie so much, I swear she is Kelly Martin in the movie Death of a Cheerleader, where she would do anything for the popular girls to notice her and take her in. Do you guys remember that movie? Oh my God, I love that movie so much. My friend Melissa, she met Tori Spelling and had her sign her DVD copy of Death of a Cheerleader. Do you guys remember that movie with Kelly Martin? Oh my God, the Lifetime movie. I love that movie so much. Okay. Wow, Robbie Christie throwback. Not that I support her anymore. She just posted a video testing new makeup. I saw it come up and I was like, whoa. I love watching old ass YouTube when I'm bored. I'm talking, and she names these people. Somebody said I watch old Smoky Glow videos all the time. I miss this Robbie Christie. This was my first video of hers and I thought she was funny and real. Then she took us on her internal journey and it was too much for me. I've heard she's into conspiracy and fake science, so I'm out. This video is, a lot of people are talking about the pseudoscience stuff with Christie. A lot of people seem to have an issue with that. This video is great and such a good take on the lipstick gate issue. I watched a video on a pregnancy reveal and that was straight up the end of it for me. I have a kid. It wasn't, this is another person that's triggered by this stuff. Somebody said, oh, how the mighty have fallen. Seeing the post is making me very curious to smell my Jacqueline lipstick. The one I bought was always unremarkably normal. It's funny because I had literally never watched a Jacqueline Hill video at the point when I purchased it on launch day. I might have seen the original video of her swatching all the shades. Okay, not to mention, somebody said, A, girl, get to sniffing, and B, what shade? I just watched swatches of all of them in the 6-year-old video, so they're fresh in my brain. She said, the shade I have is Sophia, and I can confirm it still smells pretty nice, like Vanilla Sweet. She told Jacqueline that. She's wanting to re-release those lipsticks. Somebody said, oh my God, this was like earth-shattering at the time. This video of Christie's under the microscope, I mean, it's part of, for me, like, the only reason she would backpedal on what she said is to appease Jacqueline. Because it really was earth-shattering. She didn't say anything horrible. It wasn't, the video wasn't cruel. The video was factual. And that's one of the reasons, like, when I see that she backs down on some of this stuff, I'm like, is it just, like, do you feel bad because it hurt Jacqueline at that time? Because at that time, that was Jacqueline's business. So you were giving criticism to a business owner as a makeup reviewer. Like, I don't think that's cruel. I think that was your job. I don't know. And it really was earth-shattering at that time. Somebody, I got into Robbie and Christie not because of makeup, but because of a review she posted on Pretty Little Liars, and she was so funny. Oh, I didn't know she did that. And now, just like Jacqueline herself, both had the world in their hands as very successful YouTubers and blew it. Someone said, they're asking about the lipsticks and the PR. She used to suck up to Jacqueline so hard, but once she got a chance, she sure took it. And somebody said, rest in peace to the person she used to be. So I just thought that was interesting that they're talking about that 6 years later with the Robbie D. Christie thing. So I wanted to bring that over here. Don't feel like you don't have to feel like you need to comment on why you unfollowed Christie. In all honesty, I think that one of the things that makes me really sad about the whole Christie situation is that, you know, like at the beginning of this video, I said people wanted me to do an Amberlynn Reid video. I did an Amberlynn Reid video, okay? People have asked me to do more of this. I just got a comment yesterday. Somebody said, will you do a Robbie D. Christie video? So when I had that comment in my head, and then I saw this come up, I thought, okay, I'll do a Robbie D. Christie video. I haven't done one for a while. You know, like people give me suggestions all the time. I try to take the suggestions, you know, about doing this or doing that or whatever. It's hard to take every single one of them. But when you have a lot of people that are coming to you in your audience, and they're saying, hey, like, and they're not saying it mean, because when all this started going down and I would read the comments on Christie's and they would say like, Christie, like, I don't understand this, or I'm a little disappointed or whatever. And never, I think that her channel, I think her career, I mean, if she's now getting 30,000 views and she was getting 800,000 views, I don't know what 5 years from now is going to look like for her on that. And I hope that she figures it out. I know that she wants to just like, you know, do pottery and just live off that. And I hope that that is successful for her. I really do. I mean, I want that for anybody, you know. I just feel like, I don't know. I think the thing that's really hard for people is that because she's never come out and said anything, and when people say she doesn't have to, you're 100% right. Christie never has to address one thing, ever. None of us do. None of us do. But for me as a watcher, I don't know where she stands. And I think that's a lot of it. Whether you're talking about the pseudoscience or even what she wants to do with her channel, nobody knows where she stands. Because she's come out and said, I don't want to do makeup content anymore. Then she turns around and does makeup content. So when people say she doesn't have to address anything, I'm not just talking about the scandals. I'm talking about her saying, I'm not really into makeup. I don't want to do makeup anymore. And then throwing up a makeup video. That's confusing to people. I know it's confusing because I do the same thing. I say, I want to do true crime, and then I don't do true crime over here. And so then people will be like, are you going to do more true crime over here? Yes, I am going to do more true crime over here. But I try to listen. I always say, you know, like, I'm so incredibly thankful that I have this and I get to call this a job and that people want to watch my videos. I'm incredibly grateful for it. So if people on my videos or DM me or whatever and say, like, I would love for you to do more of this, or hey, have you ever thought about that? Like, a lot of people have said to me, I miss you being in the chair down in the living room. This fall, I think I'm moving back to the chair in the living room because a lot of people, and I said the other day on my vlog, like, why do people really miss me in the chair? And because I did a vlog from the chair, and people said it's nostalgic for me. And I do think that how we found people on YouTube or whatever, it is nostalgic to some degree. People want me in the chair, I'll move back to the chair, you know? It's just not that deep. And so when it is deep, though, and then people don't really know where they stand with you, and you've helped them get through. I mean, one of the comments I get on a lot of my videos is, you really helped me through I just got these on my vlog last night, you helped me through a really hard time. I didn't even know that, you know, like, I mean, because people tell me that I know that. But it's not just me, it's any creator. By people watching their videos have, like, really helped them through hard times, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden, no longer people really know where they stand with you. And I think that's confusing to people. So yeah, so anyway, that's what the people said over there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.